What does it mean to live a resilient life? I'm Ryan Manion. I lost my brother to war and my mom to cancer, and I've learned a lot about myself along the way. Now, as the CEO of Travis Manion Foundation, I'm on a journey to explore what it means to be resilient against life's many challenges. Join me and some incredible guests as we ask ourselves the hard questions and define what it means to struggle well. All right, we are back for another episode in person. We are down here in beautiful Florida with Rosalyn Yellin from the new show, Members Only Palm Beach. And I'm so excited to be here. And I can tell you, these Philly folk are very excited to be in the warm weather.
I know. It's nice to get out of the cold, and I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you for coming.
So, full transparency, you kind of showed up on our radar because this new show comes out. It's a big show on Netflix. Everyone's hearing everything about it. And then your name pops up and everyone in Bucks County is going, oh my gosh, she's kind of claiming you, right? Like, Rosalyn, she's a Philly girl, she's ours. And so, of course, I hop on and I watch the show. And one of the things that immediately, and again, when I'm watching the show, I'm not thinking, I want to interview Rosalyn for the Resilient Life, right? I'm like, I want to watch this new awesome reality show on Netflix. But what struck me right away was all the work that you do and the support that you give to the veteran community. And right then and there, I turned to my team and I said, you know, we have to talk to Rosalyn.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
So the first thing I'm going to say is, for those in the audience that have never seen your show, that don't know anything about you, what do you want them to know about Rosalyn Yellin?
I want them to know that I'm a mom of 5 children. I have 4 grandbabies. I moved to Florida, and it really was my dream. And I live my life setting goals, and I live my life thinking, you know, it's never too late to do something new, or it's not to be really complacent where I'm at, and always striving to do more and to do better. And I really want to help people, and it's just something that I want to do. So I want them to know that. And if they watch the reality show, I think that reality is edited in a way that leans into a storyline.
Sure.
And I didn't really see the storyline until the show came out, to tell you the truth. So not all of it is like 100%.
Yeah.
But it's a show. So I would also want people to know that when they watch Netflix, Members Only Palm Beach, to realize that it's for entertainment purposes, and it's a reality show, and it really is not all 100% like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and I'd love to dive in. So how does that come to be? They're putting together this show, and do you just get a call, or, hey, are you interested? Is that how it happened?
Yes. So first of all, it was always like a dream of mine to be on a reality show.
Okay.
I always watched Housewives.
Yes.
And having 5 children and a busy mom, I had like 5 kids under the age of 7 at one point. They all went to Council Rock School District. I just always had the babies in their little, car seats and in the house, like, because I had twins, watching Housewives and another baby on my hip and, making bottles, but always like watching that as my release or a relief. Yeah. So when the opportunity presented itself, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God.
Did you think yes right away?
I thought yes right away, but I had to finesse it.
Well,
with my husband and family.
Yeah, because I think, it's like the excitement of like, oh my gosh, what a cool opportunity.
Oh,
but then you have to
I wanted it very badly.
But then you have to step back and think of all the things that come with that.
All the things that come with it, right. Well, I knew that I always carry myself and the way I live my life to a certain standard, so I wasn't worried about doing anything crazy or being portrayed really poorly. I wasn't concerned about that. I always just put my best face forward, and I also thought it would be a terrific platform to promote the great team in Boca Raton for the work that I try to help them with veterans and saving veterans' lives. So I thought that it would be a great, a great platform for that. So, but I knew that I was going to do it. Like, I just felt it in me that I was going to do it. My husband was like, I don't want to be on it.
Well, it's so funny, and for those of you watching, I had a chance to spend some time with your husband this morning, and he is lovely.
Yes.
And but it was funny because as we were coming here this morning, I said, we don't really know much about Rosalyn's husband.
No.
He wasn't on the show,
Not
and
at all.
I have so much respect for that.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
he said, "Go do this. I don't want to be a part of it."
Yes, I'm very grateful for him that he said, I don't want you to resent me the rest of your life if you don't do this, but I don't want to be on it.
Yeah.
So we both respected each other's wishes, and he really was the only husband who was not featured at all.
Yeah.
And he's just a very private person, and he's very quiet. He doesn't want to be in the limelight. He never shows off. He's extremely humble. He always tells me to be humble. And we just really respect each other in that way, but he didn't want to hold me back, and I'm grateful that he didn't, because it was like the best experience of my life. It was so much fun. I loved it.
And I watched the whole season, and I myself am also I do a lot of serious work in my day job.
Yes.
I'm working with veterans every day and the military community, and you are not the first reality TV show person that I've had on the show. I've had some housewives on. Erica Kane's been on Erica Jade has been on the show. I've had Leah Mobb from both Real Housewives of New York and Beverly Hills, and they have very fascinating stories like yourself. But like, one of the things that I always say is like, that's kind of my decompression.
Exactly.
So everything I'm doing, and then when I go to bed at night, no, I don't want to watch. Well, sometimes I like to dive into the crime shows because
Me too.
they're kind of
Sometimes.
relaxing. Yeah, but also I love watching reality TV, and watching your season of Members Only Palm Beach. You can see they very quickly kind of make you into, this is going to be your character. And this is going to be how we're going to kind of typecast you, right?
Yes.
A little bit.
Yes.
And so your storyline was kind of around this idea of, first of all the incredible charity work you're doing.
Yes.
But then there was a little bit of your mentor, who was Gail, right? And then who you were mentoring, who was Romina.
Yes.
So I have to know, like, how real is all of that?
Well, it's hard to say. I brought Romina onto the show.
Yes.
I love and adore her.
Another Philly girl.
Yes, that's how I know her.
Yep.
And I met Romina, I don't remember how many years ago, in Bucks County, because her cousin took my class at the NAC. And Romina asked her cousin to set up a coffee date with me. And we met for coffee at Starbucks in Newtown. And she said, hey, I want to do a reality show, Housewives of Bucks County. Do you want to do it? But she wanted to create her own sizzle reel. And that means you make it and then you go and sell it. So I said, you know what, I don't want to do that, because I was so busy with 5 children. And they were all older than Romina's kids. You know, it gets harder being a mom when your kids are actually in high school and you're driving them everywhere. And there's so many activities. My kids were really close in age. So it was just something I couldn't do. But when this opportunity presented itself here, and Romina happened to move to Boca Raton, I knew it was always her dream. And so I was like, I called her up, Romina, you won't believe this. I have an opportunity for a reality show, and it just worked out. Yeah. So, and we are friends. I did try to help her in the show, you know, with advice that really actually is very helpful. It might have seemed harsh the way it's edited, but it really wasn't harsh. And sometimes, like, it looks like that's all I talked about in the chair. But that's because every time you're in the chair, like, you film often, they keep asking you sometimes the same questions over and over, and I thought maybe I didn't answer it well the first time. I had no idea they're going to only use that. Right. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because the story was like about you telling Romina how to talk, how to dress.
Well, not how to talk.
Not how to talk.
Not to be so loud in an event.
Not to be so loud.
But that's something I tell my daughter, too. Right. When, you know, we could be out in a restaurant, if my daughter has one cocktail, like, all of a sudden she's so loud. And I think that as a mom, we're doing our kids a service
Sure.
to teach them. You know, if everybody would speak at that level in the restaurant, nobody would be able to be in the restaurant.
Yep.
If everyone's screaming, right? So it was never in a mean or bad way.
I don't think you came off mean in any way.
That's
in
good.
fact,
Yeah.
I thought all of the advice that you were giving was valid. I thought you delivered it in a nice way.
I'm always kind.
You're always kind.
So the advice was only don't be too loud in a public place, especially at a charity event or church or something like that.
Right.
And don't dress inappropriately at a charity event in Palm Beach at a private club.
Yep.
Wear everything else, everywhere else. You know, it's just very specific. We were talking about Palm Beach and events in particular. So I think that was it. Oh, and don't ask for cash.
Yeah, don't ask for
That's it.
Don't ask for cash for your
But
birthday.
But
you guys are
not a wedding.
you guys are still
we're
friends
best
today.
friends.
I love that.
her. And, you know, she explained to me that's her culture. And so, you know, she's going to ask for cash.
Yeah.
And that's okay because, you know, you can tell somebody how it's done in Palm Beach and then they can do what they want.
Right.
Yeah.
So real quickly, while we're still, talk to me about Gail a little bit.
Well, you know, we've had a little rough patch.
You have, okay.
Since the show aired, even though I stuck by her and I defended her till the end with the girls to my own detriment sometimes. You know, they were constantly coming at me.
You did.
I'm a very loyal person.
You were ride or die for her.
Yeah, I'm a loyal person. That's why I've been with my husband since I was 21. And I'm just very loyal. So when I love someone and I think the world of them, I just don't want other people talking about them. I do the same with Romina. I do the same with my friends. So that is, I'm very loyal. And, you know, they were saying things about her. But since the show has aired, you know, Gail had an opportunity to do some media, and she said things that were not very kind about me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's hurt me.
Yeah, that's fascinating because, again,
I stood up for her all 8 episodes.
Frankly, I thought
her.
you fought for her at times where I was like, you shouldn't be fighting for her right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, she's in the wrong.
Yes.
And
she
kind of
doesn't
some of the
see
things
it.
that they are saying are actually right. So.
Correct. And I didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see it. Sometimes, you know, I need someone to show me the light also. But, you know, I really do love her. And I have a sisterhood from being on the show. So there's a special kind of connection there.
And do you feel that way? You hear that when you watch reality shows and all the fighting that goes on, but then then outside of that, you just kind of feel that bond with all of your castmates because you went through this experience together, right?
That's very true. So even if you don't care for somebody or like them very much, you still do have that bond. And you do want the show to succeed, and you do want a second season.
Yeah.
So everybody's goals are aligned.
So what are what's the word on second season? Have you heard?
Everything is looking very, very positive.
Okay, good.
What we need is we need people to finish the series. Like, we had so many people watch it, so the numbers are there.
Okay.
But Netflix is a numbers kind of company. It's not like Bravo. If we were on any other station, we definitely would have already been picked up because we had more viewers than the highest rated housewife show ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's not
so
viewership. It's we need people to finish.
We need you to
completion rate.
finish this series.
Put the series on, even if you have to go to work, and just let it run.
Let it run.
We need people to finish the series. And by the way, episode 8 is the best episode of all.
I agree.
I finally found my voice. It's called Rosalyn Finds Her Voice for a reason, because I was always raised to respect your elders and, you know, not to speak my opinion, not to stand up for myself. And sometimes people can take advantage of you or run roughshod on you or put words in your mouth. So it was like the first time in my life I really stood up for myself.
Yeah.
And it felt really good. So to get a second season, I think would be just incredible to see everything that's gone on since.
Yeah, and the evolution of what comes next, right? And first seasons are always so, of any reality show, when you go back, when I go back and watch first season of New York or Beverly Hills, you get so much character development in the second, third, you know.
Right. So for first season, it was really good.
Yeah.
You know?
I love it. Okay. Yeah. Enough of my reality, my reality show obsession. I want to talk about some serious stuff now. And again, it was really a lot of the reason why I wanted to talk to you today, because number one, we're from the same place. So, and I always laugh because when you would talk to Romina, you'd be like, we're not in Philadelphia anymore. And I'm like, and I related to her because I can tend to get a little loud when I get excited. And, you know, I remember when Hillary was it wasn't Romina, I think it was Maria maybe saying like, you got to stop cursing so much. Like,
oh, Hillary said it to Maria.
Yeah. Like, you know, sometimes I can let a curse word fly here or there, especially when I'm at an Eagles game or something like that. But we both are from Bucks County, which for those that don't know, we say we're from Philadelphia, but Bucks County is the first county north of Philadelphia. And so, you know, if you live in or around Philadelphia, even if you live in South Jersey, people say they're from Philadelphia. You know, it's kind of funny.
True. Well, I'm originally from Margate, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was born and raised.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Okay. But, you know, and again, I saw all of the work that you were doing with veterans. But one of the things that struck me so much watching the series was an episode right here in this house. You're sitting outside with your 32-year-old daughter, and you're just finishing dinner, and her husband, I think, is taking your grandbabies up to bed, and you start talking about your mom.
Yes.
And you lost your mom, and we just talked about this before we started recording. Both of our moms died at the same age.
54.
Yeah, and we were both in our 30s, and we both lost our moms to cancer. And so if you're comfortable with it, I'd love for you to share a little bit more about your mom and that journey and what that looked like for you.
Sure, I would love to. I love my mom. I just can't believe how many years it's been. She passed away in 2004 from ovarian cancer. She was diagnosed at age 49 with stage 4B. So she already had ascites. It spreads like Rice Krispies to other organs. So she had a debulking surgery. It was really, really tough on her, you know, hard on the whole family. I had 5 children. My twins were in CHOP. Well, I had one in Abington. They were preemies. One at CHOP, and my mother at Hahnemann.
Oh, my gosh.
And it was just a really hard time in my life. And my mother never fully recovered, but she did fight for 4 years before succumbing to cancer. She passed away in 2004.
And you talked about on the show, she went in actually for like a procedure.
She did. She went in for a stem cell transplant, and she looked the best that she had looked in the past 4 years. And the doctor said, wow, you look so beautiful, Blanche. You don't look like you have cancer. You know, you look healthy. And she went in for that, and her kidneys just could not take the amount of the drugs that they put in your body, the chemo, during the procedure.
Yeah.
And her kidneys shut down. And she never came out of a coma.
And you had to make that decision.
I had to make the decision, and it was so tough on me. It was just a horrible, horrible few months. Feels like a dream.
Yeah.
But something that really does haunt me is that when they pulled the plug, it was so fast, but she mouthed the words, I love you.
Oh, my gosh.
And everyone in the room saw it. So she was in a coma, and she said, I love you. And we were holding hands.
I held my mom's hand.
Holding hands. Yeah. And I just couldn't believe it, really.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, I think about, too, like you had young kids. I had young
Yeah.
kids at the time. And, like, you think about all the phases of being a mother and all the phases in your life of having your mom with you. Yeah. And you think about, like, obviously the most pivotal time is when they're raising you. Yeah. But the second most pivotal is when you're having your own children.
Right.
And you need their advice and their guidance and
you want your mom there to see your children grow up.
To have that stripped away is so tough.
Yeah, it was hard. It was really, really hard.
What do you think, you know, after your mom passed, like, What did that do to you? Did that change something within you about how you lived your life?
It did. I always felt that my mother was watching me. So I always wanted to make her proud. And, my mother was such a great person. So.
That was in 2004.
Yes.
When do you because you really made this kind of life change where you said, my goal and my dream is going to be one day to move to Florida.
Yes.
When did that kind of come about?
Yeah. So when we were raising our kids, Florida is a very easy flight from Philadelphia. Yeah. So we would always vacation Christmas and Easter breaks in Florida with the children. Mm-hmm. And my husband and I just said, we're going to live here one day when the kids go to college, when we become empty nesters. Yeah. And so that was a goal that we worked towards. And then it was something that, we did, and it felt really great to be able to do that.
Well, when I first kind of started watching the show and hearing about you, it was actually a girl that works with us at the Travis Manion Foundation, and she was like, "Oh, I remember Rosalyn. She ran a Zumba class at the NAC, and it became cult-like. Yeah, like you couldn't even get into her class.
It was so fun.
And so." Do you, at that time, you have these young kids, and you start teaching a class and for those that don't know the NAC, it's Newtown Athletic Club. It is a huge athletic club in Bucks County, and you were one of the instructors that kind of built this. And in the day, you think about it now, right? With all these different, the Peloton instructors that get real popular.
And social media. I could have been like that.
Right, but no social media.
No, so I never even brought my phone in and recorded a class.
You just built this following.
I never did.
Yeah.
The only videos I have are when people took bits and pieces of themselves and put it on social media, and then more people would come, but I never really promoted myself in that way. I would say, oh, come to my class. But I just thought, I was always I always did performing arts when I was little and growing up. So I just felt like I could teach a class more to my liking. Not that the other classes weren't good, but I wanted to do my kind of music, what I like. I had a dance background, I got certified, and I started teaching, and it just kind of grew. And I also think that people loved it because I did it from my heart. Again, I did it because I wanted to help people. I didn't have to do anything. Yeah. I could have just, ate bonbons all day, to tell you the truth. I didn't have to. I did it because I wanted to, and I put all of my effort into it. I worked really hard. I would pick music before they were big. I would make dances, my own routines. I put a lot of work into it.
Well, I think a lot of times when we're raising young kids, too, it's this idea that, we want to be purposeful outside of the home, right?
Right.
You need that to be, at least I know, and I give so much credit to mothers that stay at home fully with their children. I don't think there is a harder job on the planet than that. Yes. But I think sometimes we have to find what's our passion to,
exactly.
Right.
And it was a big creative outlet for me also. So in the show, one of the ladies says, "Oh, I don't respect Rosalyn because she never built anything. She never created anything." She's talking about business. I didn't go out there and really earn money. Yeah. But I did a lot of other things. So I raised 5 amazing children.
I think there's nothing more insulting than for women that, and listen, I am someone, I have 3 children, but I work a full-time job. And guess what? I could never do what you did in staying home and primarily raising 5 children. I am the first to raise my hand and say, there is nothing harder than that.
There's nothing harder.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more important.
Right.
And so I was really taken back when I saw that that's...
Well, you were also... I'm going to be a little catty. I know who said that to you, and I'm not going to say her name. And that was a person who's been married 5 times. And I know she's probably your friend, and but you built a legacy here with your beautiful children and your grandchildren. And so, yeah.
I built something else. Yeah. And then with my creative outlet, I actually did build a huge, beautiful class and a wonderful following. And I inspired so many other women to teach dance fitness, and now they're doing it, and it carries on.
And listen, so this is the woman that said this to me is a 30-year-old woman. Okay, so when you were teaching that class, she certainly wasn't taking it. She was probably, 12, 13, 14 years old.
No.
But she knew who you were.
Yes,
Like
yes,
she
yeah.
knew like the legacy of Rosalyn
yes.
at the NAC teaching these like Zumba classes.
I mean, I remember going in like to picking up sushi when I ordered sushi for dinner. When I went in and picked up the dinner, and like some girls were like, "Oh my God, there's Rosalyn!" Like everyone knew me.
Yeah.
Around town, so
Yeah.
it was nice.
So let's talk about the important work you do with the great team. You've got
I put my award here.
her
'cause I'm
award here.
Very proud of this.
Yeah, you should be.
They presented this to me in December 2025.
Awesome.
So 2 years in a row, I was their sponsorship chairwoman for the America First Gala. The Gray team is located in Boca Raton, Florida, and their mission is to prevent veteran suicide. When I was introduced to the Gray team, it just really hit me, hard. And I saw the beautiful work that they're doing. They have a wonderful facility that I could actually visit. And I met veterans there who said that the Gray team saved their life. They have a lot of services, 24 hours a day. They will give, mental health care if it's an emergency or not an emergency, and I just thought that their work was so unbelievable. And if I'm going to help them and raise money for them, I could see where the money's going, and it's such a wonderful cause. And I didn't know that much about the military because I don't have any family members who are in the military, and I never thought about that before. They really opened my eyes to our nation's heroes. And growing up, I always thought of somebody who enlisted in the Army or the military as doing something very scary. Like I always thought, like, how can you just go overseas and fight for your country? It's so scary to be in combat. And that's all I really thought about, and then didn't think about it after that because I didn't know where to go in my mind after that. Yeah. We're not taught about it in school. So it was not something I knew much about. Veterans, the military life, their life integrating back into a civilian life. And those are all things that I now know are not easy. It's transitions. And then they also come back sometimes, veterans with PTSD or things that we can't see. So it might not be a disability that we can see, but maybe mentally they're
dealing with stuff.
They're dealing with things.
Yeah, and one of the things that I love so much is you didn't just talk about the support you give to the veteran community in one episode, and I happened to catch it. It was a constant theme. So I actually, kudos to the editors, because they could have taken all that out, because frankly, that's probably, we know it sells, the drama, the fighting, that's the kind of stuff that sells in reality TV. Yes. But they really led that as a constant theme throughout the series. But you had to talk about it in order for them to pick up that, hey, we're going to weave this in.
Yes.
And so it was multiple times that you held a fundraiser in one of the episodes.
Yes. Well, what you couldn't see on the show are the black tie galas that I hosted while we were filming, because we can't film in a private club.
Got it.
So I was filming, which was a full-time job actually, but I was also living my real life that could not be filmed, unlike the other women. Their life was being filmed.
Yeah.
My whole life couldn't be filmed because I do devote so much time to the charities that I work for, and I do immerse myself. So I had Red, White, and Vogue coming up. It was the first one. It was something I dreamt up. I went to the Gray team and I said, I have this idea to do a fashion show luncheon. This year it's a black tie gala. Fashion show luncheon, and all the ladies can dress up and we can have, military and whatever. So they were like, we love it. They didn't even hesitate. And then together, we moved forward with it, and they really did create my vision for the event, and I was the chairwoman. I'm the chairwoman again. It's our second annual Red, White, and Vogue coming up March 12th, and so it was going on while we were filming. Several of the girls who filmed came to the event as well, but we couldn't film any of that. Yeah. They couldn't film all of the meetings and everything that goes into making a gala, and
it's a lot of work, I know.
Yes, and then the actual gala, we couldn't even film. And that feeling, when I walked into the room, I just cried. To see, a sold-out, huge ballroom, 700 people, and to see the event that
You put together.
yes.
So charity work's always been really important to you. When you were actually out of the room and I was talking to your husband, he was talking about, even when you were back in the Philadelphia area, like you guys were always invested in different causes. He was talking about the multiple sclerosis cause that you guys did a lot of work with in Bucks County. You don't always see that. So I'm around a lot of different people, and a lot of different people that have a lot of different, are in a lot of different places in terms of their wealth, right? And it's fascinating to me that there are people that do very well for themselves, and philanthropy is just not even a thought in their head.
Right.
And, you know, and I wonder, like, when was it that you kind of got involved in charity work and philanthropy and thought, like, you know, we have so much and it's important to give back?
Even when we didn't have all that much, because I feel that there's different ways that you can give back without not only being money. Of course, funds are very, very important because that's how the charity runs. That's how you give services. That's how you pay for services. So that's very important. And that could be, for a very wealthy person, the easiest thing to do is to write a check, to tell you the truth.
Right.
But there's other ways. So I love to spread awareness. I have a platform, and I always did spread awareness on my Instagram even before the show. So you can help a charity by spreading awareness, spreading the word, talking about issues that are hard to talk about. You can really, from a human aspect and a human standpoint, you can try to learn about something that is hurting somebody else that maybe we don't know anything about.
Yeah.
And then there's also volunteerism. So if somebody really can't help in the other ways, maybe they can get involved and volunteer. Even if it's in an animal shelter, they always need somebody to help bathe the animals, feed the animals, take them for a walk. And I think that people should do whatever we can, because the truth is, the more we give, the more we get. And
I always say that
yes,
serving others is a selfish act.
it really is.
You get more from it.
Way more.
Yep.
If people would just start to give in any way that they can,
Yep.
their time, their awareness, or money, you get so much more back. And it fills your soul. You feel great about it. You meet wonderful people who are also charitable and philanthropic. It's how I met, like, the nicest people that are in our life.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's just the way to live your life.
One of the other things that I picked up on, and again, I think it kind of harkens back to the last episode of the series where you find your voice, but you talked more than once about growing up, how you were, I don't know if you used the word silence, but you were not raised to speak up or advocate for yourself.
No, I said it on the show, and I was always raised, children should be seen but not heard. Yeah. And I never was really allowed to say my opinion or to talk very much about anything that...
When did you have the realization that, like, you could say more?
Well, I honestly did learn a lot filming the show.
Yeah.
Because I realized, like, if I didn't speak up for myself at some point, that others were going to tell my story or tell a narrative that's just not true. And it has happened to me in my life, but normally I just don't care. Yeah. You know, I feel like people can say what they want, but I always feel like my actions and the way I carry myself and my beautiful family speaks for itself. But that's not the case. So sometimes, you know, people can be very cruel or very mean, or they say things that are just not true.
Yeah.
So I realized on the show that I had to say, I'm a great person, I'm a loyal person, I'm like, you know, things that you would think just speak for themselves.
Right.
But when you have other women constantly trying to diminish you, you know, whatever, saying she never created anything, I don't have any respect for her, people don't like her, she has burned bridges, or she's committed
talking
faux
about
pas.
other people.
And it's not true. Like, I never did do that. So if somebody wants to say I was talking about them, that's just not the case. You know, I'm just fixated on my own life and living my life and my family, my kids, my husband, And I really am not thinking about other people.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I think you did a beautiful job, I will say. I think you did a beautiful job of, and now being here with you in person, like, you are who you were on the show is who you are, you know? And there was something very endearing and authentic about you on the show. Even though, you know, they create these storylines, like, your personality came through.
Yeah.
And it was very easy to see that you were a good person.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you so
and
much.
And I think a lot of times in reality shows too, there are people where they're trying to come across as a good person, and you can sniff them out right away. You're like, they're not a good person.
I feel like on the show too, you had some people like saying bad things about me, but yet just how I live my life or my character just spoke for itself.
Yep. I agree. You did a great job with that.
Thank you. But, you know, I do love to dress up and wear my ball gowns or whatever. I do go to a lot of events.
Yeah.
And, you know, if somebody doesn't like it or they think that's fake, that's not fake. That's really what I do, you know? And I love that. And if I would have feel like that, you know,
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I showed up here today and I'm like, I am not dressed for Palm Beach. Okay, I'm in all black, a navy blue blazer. I'm like, I am not following Rosalyn's rules. I should be in floral. I should be in fun pastel colors.
I wore red.
Yeah.
So we look good together.
There we go. Listen, we've got like the red, white, and blue theme going on, you know, Americana.
Yes.
And then we've got your beautiful trophy.
Yeah.
One of the other things that, it was not on the show, but I caught it in one of the interviews that you did, and I only heard it once, but your grandmother was a Holocaust survivor. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's
she
incredible.
Was. It is.
Did she talk about it a lot?
She told us stories growing up. My grandmother just passed away while we were filming at the age of 103.
Wow. Now, was this your mom's mom or your dad's mom?
Yes, my mother's mother.
Wow.
She just passed away while we were filming the show last year in March 2025.
Wow.
And it really hit me hard because it brought back my mother's death. You know, and seeing my grandmother literally going into the ground just reminded me of my mother going in. And it was really hard. Yeah. It was very difficult.
What did that look like when you were growing up? Was that like, when did you first know that your grandmother was a Holocaust survivor? Like, was it talked about in your family when you were growing up?
It was.
I just wonder.
It was talked about a lot, and my grandmother had an accent, and so did my grandfather, and so I always saw that they were different than everyone else with their accent. And because they survived the Holocaust, I think they had a lot of things in them, like we had to eat everything on our plate or like things like that, and they were very frugal. And I said in the show, like, cereal was very expensive. Like, all I wanted was Golden Grahams. It's the truth. All I wanted was a box of Golden Grahams. Like, I begged for it. I got it, like, on my birthday. And, you know, things were a little different because they came here with nothing. They did build a very nice life. They had 3 children. And then, you know, I think growing up, the granddaughter of Holocaust survivors, you do hear a lot of the stories. Yeah. Sometimes it scared me.
Oh, I'm
sure. It was scary.
And what does that look like for you? Like, when you think about your family lineage all the way back, like your grandmother was a Holocaust survivor. She just passed at 103. Here you are in one of the most exclusive zip codes in the entire country. I mean, that's the American dream.
It is.
Right? And like, what do you hope to pass down to your children and your grandchildren? Like, that legacy, you know, you have to think about that sometimes, do you?
Yes, I do. I think I'm here because my grandmother survived.
Yeah.
And I have a wonderful and amazing life with my husband, and we're very blessed. But it's because my grandmother had the strength and the resilience to survive. She could have very easily given up. Yeah. And there were some people in the camps, they threw themselves on the fence because they couldn't take it anymore. And my grandparents didn't. They pushed through. I feel like every hard thing we go through makes us stronger. Like, you asked me in the beginning of the interview about my mother and when she died and how that shaped me. Well, it did make me much stronger after going through that hardship and heartache. And now when I think about her, I do cry, and it does make me sad because I wish she was here. But it brings a warmth and a comforting over my whole body thinking about her and the love. So that really pushes me. But I feel like my life, I want to keep striving to do more and achieve more goals and dreams of mine. And that's how I live my life.
Yeah. I love that. And I talk about that all the time. I could not agree more. We don't grow unless we deal with adversity, right? Like you don't grow as individuals unless you have to overcome.
You have to overcome hardship.
Yeah.
You have to know what it feels to be knocked down, whether it's by death or by a tragedy or by somebody being cruel to you or by losing a job or by your boss being very cruel and then you get fired. I mean, you have to go through something to be able to reevaluate and grow. And they're actually helping you in a way because you can then become stronger and surpass, you can surpass whatever your wildest dreams are.
Yeah. And I just think, I find it, I think there's a lot of misconceptions, again, I run a veteran service organization. I work with military families each and every day. And so, it's like, what am I doing sitting here in Florida at the home of a reality television woman, right? I mean, frankly, if you look at it from the very surface level, that's what I'm doing. But there's so much depth to people that we never truly understand, right? And that is what I loved learning about you. It's like, you're not just a woman who wanted to be on a reality TV show. Like, you're someone that wants to invest in causes and talk about causes that you care deeply about. Yes. You dealt with the tragedy of losing your mom at a very young age. You're the granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor. Like, those are all incredible things. And I think sometimes we need to open our eyes to everyone. There's so much more to their story.
That
right?
is very true.
Yeah.
You never know what people are going through. You don't know what they've been through.
Right.
You can see somebody on top of the world or what you think is, on top of the world, but you don't know what they had to overcome to get there.
Yeah.
Or the highest mountain they had to climb to achieve that.
Yeah.
And I feel like everything that we have, my husband and I worked for. We worked for it very hard. And then there's some rumors I read about, Rosalyn didn't achieve anything. She won the lottery. Like, that's ridiculous. Did not win the lottery.
Well, if you did, that would be pretty cool too.
And if I won the lottery, I wish I did.
Yeah.
But I did win the lottery in life with husbands because I have an amazing husband and a lot of love, thankfully. That. But, everything came from adversity, hard work, resilience, overcoming hardship, overcoming somebody that said no, overcoming somebody that wanted to keep me down, and just overcoming life.
Yeah. Well, you talk about, you're all about finding your next big dream. And
yes.
So what's your next big dream?
Well,
what's next?
I started my own company, Uvetica.
Okay.
And that comes from youth and aesthetics. So we have... so I was always into health and fitness. As you know, I taught dance fitness, and it was my passion. And I like looking good also. And my husband also, looks great for his age. My whole family's very active, and I believe in staying fit and active. So I take supplements, but my supplements were making me nauseous. Like, I couldn't take all of the different supplements that I wanted to fuel my body.
The older we get, then you have like 27 horse pills you have to take.
And I just couldn't do it.
Yep.
I just can't do it. So I created my own supplement right here in Florida, 30 minutes from my home, in a beautiful, clean laboratory. And it's only 2 capsules a day. You can take it on an empty stomach. It's vegan. Even the shell is made from beets.
Okay.
And in it is patent pending from Compound Pharmacies, Youth. It is spermidine. It's so important for glowing, healthy skin. And it also puts your body in a state of fasting. Like, people who live a fasting lifestyle, we lose spermidine as we age. And so,
what is spermidine? I don't know what that is.
I know. It's something incredible, and I have to say I did it first. The Kardashians just announced they came out with a spermidine gummy, or they're coming out with it, but I did this first. Wow. So it helps your skin be plump and beautiful and youthful in a natural way. And spermidine is something that we make in our body, but as we age, we stop making it as much, just because when we age, we
slows down.
Age. Yeah. So it's like, to me, it's like a miracle ingredient. And we have the highest quality that you can get and the highest dosage that you can take. Not only do we have that, It's also resveratrol.
I've heard of resveratrol.
Very good for your brain health and to keep you
Dr.
healthy.
Terry Jabreau from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills always talks about resveratrol.
Yes, high quality resveratrol. It can cost $349 a month, a competitor brand.
Okay.
So it's the spermidine resveratrol. It's PQQ, also for your brain health, for your nerves, cellular rejuvenation, full strength biotin, so you don't have to take a hair, skin, and nails pill. NAD+.
Ooh, that's the hot one
NAD+,
right now.
hyaluronic acid, and all your other vitamins in 2 capsules a day. And I make it right here.
And
in
where
Florida.
do you get it?
You can get it on www.uvetica.co. I'll give you one to try.
I'd love to.
It's incredible. You can take it on an empty stomach in the morning. You will not get nauseous.
Now, is this just for women or
No,
women and men? Okay.
Although, when I was making it, May will be 2 years now. We all take, my husband and I take it, we take it in this house. And I was like, now that I have this platform, remember, I did this before the show.
Right.
I could market it and sell it. I'm not a very good businesswoman, really, because everything I do is more, for our health or longevity or to help people. So I have to promote it more, but it's an amazing product.
Yeah.
And it gives you energy too. So it's great it's called Longevity and Vitality. And it's an amazing vegan product. It replaces all of your other supplements.
Well,
And it's only $59.99 a month. And if everything was individual from other companies, it'd be like $800 a month.
okay, you need to start pushing this out more.
I know, I do, because it's incredible and so affordable. And I just made it so everyone can take it and have an amazing supplement. It's incredible. Everyone's like, your skin, you're this, you're that.
I mean, you
so
look
good.
incredible.
Well, thank you, but
yeah.
and I'm not loaded up with fillers. I don't like that, the big lip.
Yeah.
This is a miracle pill. Well, for me it is.
Yeah.
For my husband it is. So I think you'll really like it.
I love that.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
when
Well,
you
I've been
leave.
hearing all about the NAD, the
It has it all.
resveratrol, all of that.
Another thing is people do take the shots, the NAD shot, but that could be very costly.
And it can make people feel sick
Yes.
from that right afterwards.
And I was deathly sick from it. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't function for 3 days.
Yeah.
So I did try it, and I gave it another shot and tried it again, tried it 3 times.
And it's
really
also
sick.
not convenient.
No, and not everyone can afford it.
Yeah.
So I created something that everyone can afford. We have discounts on the website as well. Like you buy 6 months, you get one free, because really consistency is key.
Yep.
That's with everything in life, right?
Yeah. Keep up with it.
Keep up with it.
I love it. So, this show is called the Resilient Life Podcast. And the last question that I always ask everyone is, what does living a resilient life look like for you?
Living a resilient life, for me, looks like achieving goals. It means success, and it means giving back. Without giving back, I feel that somebody hasn't truly achieved their greatest heights of success. Because if you can't help another person or save another life, then you're missing the whole meaning of life. So it's key to living well.
I love that so much. Rosalyn, this has been incredible. I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I know you're going to have a lot of new fans after this episode releases,
great.
and
I hope everyone follows me on Instagram.
yes, we will.
TikTok.
We'll put all of your handles out there.
Okay.
Thank you truly again for the work that you do for the veteran community, as the daughter of a veteran, as the sister of a fallen Marine, and the mother of a midshipman at the Naval Academy. Not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. And it means so much,
I thank your family for their service.
Thank you.
Our true heroes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.